A 5-year-old boy stands up from a hexagonal carpet wearing an Apollo 11 sweater. And millions of people decided that single frame is Stanley Kubrick confessing he helped NASA fake the moon landing. Welcome to the most elaborate piece of film criticism ever produced by people who failed film school. The theory goes like this. Kubrick, the perfectionist who made 2001, was secretly hired by the government in 1969 to shoot the lunar surface footage. He couldn't tell anyone, so he hid the confession inside The Shining, a coded apology buried in carpet patterns and typewriter keys. The believers call it the smoking gun frame. The kid, the sweater, the geometric carpet that supposedly resembles a launch pad if you squint hard enough and drink enough wine. Then they start counting. The Overlook Hotel has a forbidden room, room 237. In Stephen King's original novel, that room is 217. Kubrick changed it. Why 237? Because the moon is 237,000 miles from Earth on average. That's the cornerstone of the entire theory. Never mind that the actual average distance is 238,855 miles. Never mind that the change was reportedly requested by the hotel that inspired the film, because they didn't want guests scared of staying in their real room 217. Conspiracy is allergic to dull explanations. It gets denser. Jack Torrance, slowly losing his mind, types the same sentence over and over. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Pause one of the pages. The believers swear the word. All looks like A11, as in Apollo 11. Look again. It's a capital A and 2 lowercase L's in a serif typewriter font. Add the Playgirl magazine Jack reads in the lobby, which contains a real article on lunar travel. Sleuths claim this is intentional placement. Production notes call it a throwaway joke about Jack's character. If you stare at any frame long enough, you'll find a moon mission in it. That's not analysis. That's pareidolia with a college degree. But here's why this theory refuses to die. The Shining is one of the most obsessively crafted films ever made. Kubrick rebuilt impossible architecture. Hallways that can't physically exist. Windows that face nothing. Geography that contradicts itself shot to shot. Every prop is placed by a man who shot 80 takes of a kid riding a tricycle. So when audiences sense something is off, they're not wrong. The movie is hiding something. It's just not what they think. The film is a coded confession about masculine rage, about the violence buried under American family life, about the ghosts in every house that pretends it isn't haunted. That's the real coded message. But this movie is about domestic abuse doesn't go viral. Kubrick filmed the moon landing does, so the algorithm picks a winner. Now for the inconvenient witness. Vivian Kubrick, Stanley's daughter, who literally grew up on set, has gone public to call the moon landing theory complete nonsense. She filmed the making-of documentary. She watched her father obsess over carpets that weren't symbols, sweaters that were just sweaters bought from a Sears catalog, room numbers chosen for boring logistical reasons. Her response to one believer was, quote, "an awful and damaging conspiracy theory that's beyond disrespectful." Did that stop anyone? Of course not. Because once the conspiracy becomes load-bearing for someone's identity, you can't fact-check it out of them. You can only outlast it. And the believers have a counter ready. They say Vivian was forced to deny it. They say her father whispered the truth to her on his deathbed, and she's covering for the agency. There is no piece of evidence, no witness, no document, no production note that can falsify the theory. That's not history, that's religion. The truth is harder and weirder than the conspiracy. We can't tell the difference between meaningful patterns and random ones. Our brains evolved to see a tiger in tall grass, so we see Apollo missions in typewriters and government agencies in carpet weaves. Pattern recognition is the bug and the feature of being human. The Shining doesn't reveal a secret about Kubrick. It reveals a secret about us. That we'd rather believe in a master conspirator hiding clues for us to find than accept that history is mostly accidents, bureaucracy, and tired guys named Buzz climbing into actual rockets. The hexagonal carpet, by the way, is a real design. You can buy it. It's called the Hicks Hexagon by David Hicks, everywhere in the 1970s. Your grandmother probably had a piece of it in her hallway. The Apollo 11 sweater? A costume designer pulled it because it looked retro and unsettling on a small child. Every supposed clue has a duller, truer origin story, and the duller origin is always less satisfying than the conspiracy. That's the trap. The Shining feels like a confession because Kubrick made every frame feel like it was hiding something. He earned your suspicion. He just earned it about the wrong thing. He wasn't confessing to a moon landing. He was confessing to something far more uncomfortable, that the American family is the horror story, that the dad is the monster, that the hotel is the country, and nobody wanted to hear that. So they decoded a confession about NASA instead. It was easier than looking at the actual ghost in the room.